you guys are going to go onto Moby Max this week again. I'm switching back and forth between Moby Max and IXL, so you get a different kind of sense of different questions and things like that, and just to extend your learning a little bit. But let's get started on the first warm-up. Make sure when you're doing these that you just send me a screenshot of the work that we do on here. You don't have to physically write the problem, just do it on a line sheet of paper, and then after you're done writing it with me, just take a picture of your work and then attach it to the assignment, or just send it to me through email or whatever, or message I should say. So we got 726 and 2/10 minus 85 and 3700. So what we're going to start off, I'm going to line them up, the decimals. Okay, I don't have a number up here, so since the number's up top, I can't just put an X or bring down the 7. I have to put a 0 as a placeholder. So 0 can't take from 2. We could take one from the 6 though right here, and that becomes a 12, but we need one for over here, so this becomes 11, that becomes a 10, so 10 minus 7, 3. 11 minus 3 is 8, and then you bring down your decimal straight down, and then 5 minus 5 is 0. Can't take 2 from 8, so you're going to borrow from the next door neighbor, and then the 10 that you get from here you put over to the 2, so it makes it 12, and 12 minus 8 is 4, and then you bring down your 6. So you got 640 and 83 hundredths is going to be your answer. Write the expression or the problem for the product of 3 and a number C. So what they're asking for, product means multiply. So all you literally have to do, you could do 3 times C, or you could just do 3C, and that's going to be your answer. Because remember, when two numbers or things are next to each other, that means that you're going to multiply them. Okay, so you also could have put in 3 times C, but it's the same thing as writing 3C, because that means that you're multiplying these guys. Okay, Sarah counted 51 white cars and 17 blue cars driving past her location. We need to put it in simplest form. So just remember ratio, proportions, fractions, they are all pretty much the same thing. They're related to each other. They're asking white cars first, 2 blue cars. So you could write 51 colon 17, or you could do 51 over 17. It all depends on what you want to do or what they're asking for. So in this case, I think we're going to, just a second, gotta get this right here. We're going to math it out here, just 51 over 17, because we got white cars first, blue cars second. So really this is dividing. If we had a bigger number on, or a smaller number on top, then we would just simplify it down. But since the bigger number is on top and it's kind of an improper fraction, we're going to divide it. So we're going to divide 51 divided by 17. So let's guess 3 times. 3 times 7, 21. 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5. So exactly 3. So that means 3, 2, 1. So we're going to say for every 3 white cars, we got 1 blue one. And if you're simplifying it down, because they asked what is the ratio, so this is the ratio, or this is another way you can write it, how many white cars to blue cars, and they want it simplified down, so we just put it as a fraction, then we divided it out, and that's technically saying for every 3 white cars you're going to see 1 blue car. Okay, so using x as a variable, we're going to write the inequality that is graphed on the number line. So we're going to, x is our kind of variable, obviously, and our inequality, as you can see, is going off to the left. This dot is filled in, so that means x can be equal to 0. So x is technically going to be less than 0. Because any number that is 0 or less than 0 is going to be x. So does x equal 0? Yep. Does x equal a -1? Yep. X can be a -2? Yep. And then so on and so forth. This technically goes on to infinity, because it doesn't ever technically stop, and that's the infinity symbol. Okay, so the vertices of a regular piece of land are located at these points on a coordinate drawing. If a fencing costs $25 per unit of length, what is the fencing material? So since we are doing coordinate graphing this week, I want us to do this, but I kind of pre-did this with Mr. Morin in my planner. I made a coordinate graph. So the first point is going to be -3, 8, -10, 8, -1, or 10, -10, -1, -3, -1. So what they're asking for all the distance, so I plotted these points right here. So this is our quadrilateral, and they're asking for this quadrilateral if all of these sections are going to be $25 each. How much is it going to be all the way around? So 25 times 7, which we'll figure that out. Or you can think of how many quarters are, if you had 7 quarters, how much money would you have? You would have $1.75. But if you just take it, you go 35, 2 times 7, 14 plus 3 more is 17. So we got $175 for one side. Okay, this is for one side. And if you think of a quadrilateral or a rectangle, which is another word for a quadrilateral, they have 4 sides. So now we have to take 175 times 4, because this is just for one side. This is just if you were to fence one side. Because remember, there were 7 different sections on one side. You would have to take 175 times 4. So 5 times 4, 20, carry your 2, drop your 0. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 2 more is 30. Carry your 3, drop your 0. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 more is 7. So $700 is what it's going to cost for them to fence their box all the way around. Remember, because it was 7 all the way around. Okay, and that's just for the stuff on the outside. Okay, it's almost like the perimeter is what they're trying to find the cost for. They're not talking about like the inside stuff. They're just talking about their perimeter. Okay, so you guys, after you're done, send that to me whenever you get it done, and then you're going to log on to Moby Max. You're going to identify the 4 quadrants of a coordinate system, and I think this is part 3 you guys should be doing. You should have did part 1 and 2 last week, but this is what you're going to be working on here. Okay, so as you can see, you're going to have to determine the quadrant, mark a dot on the coordinate, and identify where the dot is located. So the point 34 is found in which quadrant? So as you can see on here, it's in quadrant 2, because you go over 3 to the left and up 4. Identify the quadrant for each of the coordinates below. So you would have to select which one goes to each quadrant. Same thing throughout all these. And then 4, 2, which is in that, they're both positive. So we know that it's going to be in quadrant 1. Same thing as kind of what you had to do in your IXLs. You're going to be working on those. Okay, so hope you guys are doing good and you had a good weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye.